Welcome to Barefoot in America. We're coming to you from Sedona, Arizona today to bring you a 20-minute yoga practice. We're going to go over some of the basics of downward dog and just keep it a simple practice down here on the mat. And if you like what you're seeing, we would love for you to subscribe, share, comment, give us some feedback as we're just getting into more and more videos with 20 already created, and we're trying to just hone in on how to do this better. So we took a hike today up Hiline Trail from the Yavapai parking lot, one of my absolute favorite trails, with coming up where you can see Cathedral Rock and Bell Rock and Courthouse, and you see the sisters behind me and that area where there's chapel and the Twin Buttes, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous area. So I'm going to invite you to start by either sitting in easy cross-legged posture Sukhasana, or I was sharing with the students this morning, if you want to sit on your knees in Virasana, that is an option as well. So sitting on your knees, you could put a block or two between your legs and then just sit back between your heels. Finding a nice tall spine wherever you chose to sit, and just coming to be with your breath for a few moments. Settling in, inhaling deeply, and exhaling completely. Let your shoulders relax. Let your body soften in an upright position, letting go of any tension. Letting the breath flow in and out with ease. At the end of every inhale, know there's a time to pause. And at the end of each exhale, there's also space to pause. Let your breath slow down even more. And bringing hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra, palm to palm. Thumbs to sternum, sternums to thumb. Bow the head and take a moment to set an intention, which could be a goal, an offering, something for yourself or something for the world, and anything in between. And seal that intention with a couple deep cleansing breaths. And from here, we're just going to bow forward into child's pose. So arms out in front of you. Knees could stay close together, or you could shift the knees wide. Big toe knuckles touch. Hips to heels, melt the heart to the earth, forehead to the mat. Or if you can't reach, you could put stacked fists under your forehead, or even a block. Give yourself the space here for 3 to 5 deep cleansing breaths. And make your way up to all fours, hands and knees. Hands right under your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. And take a moment to take a couple cat-cows. Inhale, tuck your toes, lift your head and your tailbone. Let the back sway, shoulders melt down the back, neck gets long. Exhale, untuck the toes, pull the belly up and in, drop your head, tuck your tail under you, arch the back up, looking at your navel. Inhale to cow, tucking the toes, lift head and tailbone, back sways, shoulders melt down your back. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. And now don't worry about your feet. Take your cat over to the right side. Let it drop into a cow in the center. Take your cow to the left. Pull it up to cat in the center. To the right, dropping it, coming to cow in the center, over to the left, up to cat, taking just a few more rounds, kind of like a double Dutch jump rope. Just mobilizing your spine, getting your core to engage and enliven. And the next time you're in cat, take cat to the left. Lower to cow in the center, cow to the right, up to cat in the center, over to the left, taking the jump rope type motion with your body in the opposing direction. Just take a couple more rounds. Pause in the center, finding cow posture. Tuck your toes. Spread your fingers wide. Firmly press down through your finger pads, your knuckles, and emphasis on the thumb and index finger. And as you press down and forward into your hands, your hips lift up and back. And maybe there's a bend in your knees so you can really lengthen your spine, because your spine is always more important than what your legs are doing. And as you establish this long spine, energy from the palms of the hands coming up the arms, through the torso, out the hips, maybe then you start to straighten your knees a little bit more, but never forcing, just finding that edge of a hamstring stretch. Hold it for one more deep breath. And lower to your knees and sit back to child's pose again. Inhale back to all fours. Spread your fingers wide. Practice using your whole hand. Tuck the toes. Firmly press down and forward through your hands to lift your hips up and back. The feet are roughly hips width apart, where you can't see your heels because they get lost behind the toe box. Feel that shape in your body, and bend one knee as you straighten the other. And then straighten that leg and bend the other knee for walk the dog. Go back and forth in slow motion. Again, pressing through your whole hand, feeling that line of energy from your arms through your spine out your hips. Walk the dog just a couple more rounds, and if and when you've had enough, if it's before I invite you to, know that child's pose is always available to you. Everyone slowly descending to your knees. Sitting back to child's pose if you're not already there. Melt into the mat. Take a couple deep breaths. Forehead to the mat. Breathing deeply. And maybe even your hands wrap around by your feet. Bring your arms back out in front of you. Inhale up to all fours. Spread the fingers wide. Wrist creases parallel to the top of the mat. Tuck your toes. Inhale, lift your hips to the sky. This time, bend your knees really, really deeply, almost like your belly's coming to your thighs. And then slowly straighten the legs. And then bend your knees really, really deeply. Belly towards your thighs. Spine stays long. Slowly straighten your legs. And one more time, bend your knees nice and deeply. And straighten your legs. Lower to your knees. Sit back to child's pose. Last round. Take a few deep breaths there. Arms can stay out in front of you or wrap around by your feet. And then coming up to downward dog one last time. Hands reach out in front of you. Come to all fours. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Sink into your downward dog. And maybe shimmy your hips right to left. Maybe there's a little movement in your legs as well. But just let yourself kind of loosen it up. And then when you're ready, settle into the shape of downward dog. Just another breath or two. And from here, come forward to a plank. Lower to your knees if you need to. If you can stay on your toes, great. Pull the belly in. Gaze at the mat for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lower to your knees, sit back to child's for just a moment, and then come back to all fours and have a seat, sending your legs straight out in front of you for dandasana, staff posture. And as you sit tall, press your feet away, legs close to one another, and place your hands right next to your hips. The hands press down into the earth to help you lengthen your spine. And as the hands press down, imagine the hand turning out to really open your heart and to contract isometrically your upper back. And as you continue to press down and out with your hands, feel the spine long, a tuck of the chin, crown of head lifting skyward. Press your heels away, pull your toes to your nose, and hold for a few deep breaths. Release the arms and inhale, float them up and overhead. Reach nice and long. Extend the wrist, palms to the sky, and this really mimics the shape of downward dog. Feel that shape in your body. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold forward over your legs, taking a forward fold. Hands can land wherever they do, and wherever they are, take a moment to inhale, really lengthen your spine. Bend from your hip, melt towards your legs, head relaxing towards your knees. Give yourself a handful of deep breaths, really letting the posterior, the backside aspect of your body to stretch, to soften. Maybe even sense the compression in your belly as you fold over your legs. Inhale your arms up and overhead. Exhale your hands behind you. Use your fingertips or flat hands, whatever feels more natural. Take a moment to just lift your heart to the sky, gaze to the sky or ceiling. Feel the heart opening, breath full and deep. I'm going to link the movement with breath. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward, getting long as you fold. Inhale, float the arms back up. Exhale, fingertips behind you, lift your heart. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips, dive forward. Inhale it back up. Exhale the fingertips behind you, lift your heart. One more round. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fingertips behind you, lift your heart. Breath full and deep. You're doing great. And take a moment to just pump your ankles up and down here. Feel some mobility in your legs. Pull the toes towards you, then away from you. And even progress it to simple circles at your ankles if you like. And take it in both directions. Pause. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Reach nice and long in dandasana. Exhale the arms to a cactus. Inhale the arms up. Exhale them to a cactus. Inhale the arms up. And exhale to cactus. Let your heart shine forward. Lengthen your spine. Feel the strength of your core and your back. One more deep breath here. Release the cactus and make your way to lying down on your back. Shift your weight, lying on your back. And just simply take your arms up and overhead. Reach nice and long. Root your right heel down. Exhale, give your left leg a hug. Simple wind reliever posture. Take a few deep cleansing breaths. Feel the belly rise. And exhale, feel the belly draw back in, massaging your belly against the compression of the thigh. Inhale the arms back up and overhead. Straighten the left leg. Root the heel. Exhale, give your right leg a hug. Simple wind reliever posture, knee to chest. And again, breath full and deep. Belly rising and falling against the compression of the thigh. Massaging your internal organs. Aiding in the mobility of digestion. And then linking the movement to breath. Inhale the arms up and overhead, straighten the right leg. Exhale, give your left leg a hug. Inhale the arms up and overhead, straighten the left leg, root the heel. Exhale, give the right leg a hug. Continue to go back and forth, a couple more rounds on each side, taking it at your pace. Let it feel good to move. And last time, and then bring both knees to chest at the same time. Pause, hands resting on your knees, taking the time for Apasana. Feel your shoulder blades press into the earth. Feel your pelvis press into the earth. Inhale, straighten the elbows, knees come away from your body. Exhale, bend the elbows, knees come towards you. Inhale, legs come away. Exhale, knees towards you. Inhale, legs away slightly. Exhale, knees towards you. Continue with hands on knees. If you want a little more physical challenge, take the hands away and just rock the knees towards you and away from you. And do your best to squeeze the legs together, holding the thighs together, knees together, strengthening the inner thighs. And feel your core nice and stable. Even though the legs are moving, do your best not to rock the pelvis. Hold it firmly to the mat as the legs move on that nice stable base. Last time. Hands on the backs of the thighs, send both feet to the sky, creating that shape of dandasana, again, now lying on our backs. So feel your sacrum rooted to the earth, shoulders pressing into the mat, chin tucked, and then press your heels to the sky, creating this L shape with your body. Draw your toes to your nose, squeeze your legs together at midline. Give it just a couple deep breaths. And then give your knees a hug and make your way to Sedona, final resting posture. As you straighten your legs on the mat, let them drift apart from one another. Let your arms drift away from you and let yourself stay here as long as you have time for it. Giving your body permission to melt into the mat. Giving your mind permission to let go of thoughts. To just be with some stillness. And I thank you for joining me on the mat today. Namaste.